I want to thank everybody for the support over the last couple of days. It's been, I don't want to say it's a miracle, but if I would have known walking barefooted would have done help this much, I would have done it weeks ago. So before I get started here, I just want to say thank you for everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. I know Monday is not normally a stream night, but I got a lot of catching up to do. And so don't worry. After these recordings are done, we'll take it to chat for a little while before we end it for the night. And then tomorrow we'll resume our normal stream. So entertainment this year has been a wash. It's more or less been a wash. Movies have tried to come out. They really haven't. Some of the movies who have come straight to video or straight to streaming have not been all that great. I had no interest in Mulan. Trolls, could care less. You know, it's been tough to really get excited about entertainment because, you know, the news doesn't stop. The news doesn't stop when it comes to entertainment. We still hear about, oh, well, you know, Doctor Strange is now going to be in Spider-Man, and, you know, there's going to be possible Spider-Verse. You know, of course, these are all rumors. Nothing's been corroborated, but these stories are normally very exciting when you have an opportunity to see a movie or see a movie play out before these big stories that you hear break eventually take place down the road. There's usually something there to tide you over, to hold you over. We've gotten none of that this year. Now, there are a lot of movies that did try to make an effort to come out this year that didn't do well, not because the movies are bad, simply because no one's going to the theaters. I still very much want to see Tenet. Haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it's a very good movie. Black Widow, which we thought was going to be coming out next month. It's not coming out till next year. You know, Godzilla, which we'll get into in a little bit, probably maybe could have stood in its spot, but then would it have actually released on digital? Is it still going to release on digital? Who knows? But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is an end to all this dryness. And there has to be an end to dryness because, you know, well, if you're like me, well, never mind. That was going to be a bad joke. A very inappropriate joke, I should say. This whole lockdown for these businesses eventually will end. I do personally think they're going to end after the election. But I do think that the movie industry is going to change, especially in terms of how we watch movies. I do think theaters will still be open. I do think that you can still go to a theater to watch your favorite film. But I do think that this has shown a lot of companies that the opportunity for generating income and possibly having a better success is through streaming services. Doesn't always translate into movies. You might see more opportunities for what would have been a movie, maybe turn into a show. I still think there are going to be big tentpole movies that are going to come out in theaters. But I think a lot of the smaller films that tend to get overlooked, if I may, by the bigger tentpole movies, you might see have better opportunity having success on streaming. It's no secret that Netflix spends an exorbitant amount of money for certain projects. Some not so successful, but for the most part, other than their recent debacle with the Cuties movies, obviously they've made a lot of money, even when they've spent too much for certain things. This year has been very, very tough to be entertained. We've been surrounded by the coof. You know, a lot of people are locked down. We're stuck at home. We have a lot of people who've watched YouTube a lot more. A lot of people have been streaming a lot more. We've had a lot of good streaming shows, but they've been few and far between. You know, we recently got The Boys, which was very good. I enjoyed it, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. And we also have The Mandalorian coming later this month. That should be, well, you know, a welcome addition to something to watch while we're dealing with this lockdown. But outside of that, I think the only thing that I've been able to maintain my entertainment joy has been through gaming. That's what I've done a lot of. Done a lot of gaming. I've played a lot of Modern Warfare. I think this is the most time I've spent playing a first-person shooter in a long time. And I'm very happy that I have kind of returned to my first-person shooter form, which that's saying a lot considering the amount of time required to play. But I had a play session yesterday that I was very proud of. So, and Modern Warfare and the Warzone, that whole element is just really good, and I'm really looking forward to Black Ops 2. However, there is one game that has taken a lot of people by storm, a lot of people by surprise, and unless you've been following the game for a while, I can't say that I've been following it for a long time, but I followed it long enough to play it in beta, and many of you have probably heard about it. It's called Genshin Impact. So Genshin Impact is what's called a gacha game. For those of you who don't know, a gacha game is primarily a mobile type game where you can collect characters. Some of the characters are mediocre, some of them are really good, and some of them are god tier. My first foray into the gacha game system was in 2015 when I started playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Some of you guys know I've mentioned that, and I still play that game to this day. But this one is a little bit different. This game is available not only on mobile, but it's available on PC, and it's also available on PlayStation and other consoles. And I am going to share my review for this game. Genshin Impact, to me, it's a open world RPG gacha style system. But what I really enjoy about this game more than any other gacha game, if I may say, is the fact that you do not need to go on a pulling spree to be able to get through this game or do damage with your characters, so on and so forth. You can play this game completely free. They give in-game currency, and it adds up after a while. And there's so much to do. You get 4 characters to use at the same time, or at once, I should say, but not necessarily at the same time. I should rephrase that. You get 4 active characters. You control one at a time, but you can tag in a character on a moment's notice during a fight. And all these characters are element-based. So depending on the kind of team you have, you can combine these elements for massive damage, massive debuffs to make your fight against an enemy easier. So it's not the kind of game where you roll up to an enemy and you start whacking away with your main character and the other 3 just sit back there. If you combine your characters, you're bound to succeed. I myself, I'm running a team, for those who are familiar with the game, of Diluc, Kiki, Mona, and Fiscal. And Diluc is probably the one character that a lot of people have gone after as the game started. Not to brag, I was lucky enough to pull Diluc on my second pull. I have not put any money into this game, so I have not gone crazy with pulls. I tend to do a pull every time I can collect enough currency from the game. So to let you know just how much you can pull in this game, I have 3 out of my starting 4 characters are 5-star, and the 1 4-star I use is one of the top tier support characters in the game, all received through pulls, all using in-game currency. The game's combat system is very unique. The graphics are beautiful, and it kind of, for those of you who have played Breath of the Wild, it's kind of the same open worldness where if you see something, you can go there. Now, the interesting thing is that this game still has many regions that need to open up. Not all the regions are open. And there's a lot to do. I'm currently adventure rank 35, and I'm still finding quests, chests, enemies that are new to me, you know? And I have gone and opened up all the teleports. I've gone and opened up all the shrines, so I can get to anywhere in the world. And even though I've run over certain areas, there's always some corners or some little springs that I have not explored yet. And then when I do, I always find something new. The game does not hold your hand, which is another thing I like about it. as I said, I have discovered everything that I've done in this game. That's not to say there's not resources out there that you can look up and read as to what you should do next, or where do you have to go to do it. But if you really want the good experience that this game has to offer, your best bet is to go in blind and stay blind. I have had such a fantastic time finding out things on my own, discovering new areas. Even if it's an area that I've been to before, there might be, like I said, a certain corner that I haven't turned, or a certain leaf that I haven't turned over, so to speak. The downfall of the game is that if you are a hardcore player, if you spend 16 hours or 10 hours or 8 hours a day playing this game, and you do know what you're doing, or you do decide to take some shortcuts and find out exactly where you need to go to do this and do that, you can get through some of the content pretty quickly. And what happens is, once you get to around the adventure level I am now, things will slow down. And then it becomes a game where you're basically farming to strengthen your characters. Now, this is another detriment of this game, is the farming system. You basically get what's called resin. You get 120 resin a day. You can refresh it, I think, 5 times a day. And this resin is pretty much used for all the dungeons, all the world bosses, and everything you need to fight. That gives you adventure experience, which is more important than your character experience. And is also used to get materials to level up your talents. It's also used for materials to level up your characters. And it's also used for materials to level up your weapons. These are great systems. The talent system is great. The weapon system is great. The leveling system is everything is great about this game. But the resin system is probably its biggest drawback, because it really limits you onto what you can do in a given day. And if you've gone through the adventure quest, if you're getting to adventure rank 40 or 40 plus, and you've maxed out your character levels, and you're simply working on artifacts, and you're simply working on leveling your weapons, powering up your weapons, then you're really, really going to be caught in a stranglehold because of this resin system. Many fans already have been complaining to the company that this system is not very good. If you're at the top tier, you're spending roughly 30 minutes to an hour a day running through your resin, and then after that, nothing to do, along with your daily commissions, which give you a good amount of your adventure rank experience per day. So if you're out there and you're looking for something, a brand new experience, if you like adventure games, if you like fresh combat, something very different that requires quick thinking, strategy, and making sure you build the right team of elemental characters together. And if you like a truly open world, and what seems to be a very good story so far, I recommend Genshin Impact. It is a free-to-play game, and it truly is free-to-play. Like I said, I have not spent any money in this game, and I'm progressing rather well. I've had a great experience discovering things on my own. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm bottlenecked yet, because as I said, if you go forward and you cheat your way through the game in terms of looking up guides and strategies on how to do this and what to do, then you take away the experience that this game really has to offer, which is the experience of discovery, which is very good. So that is my review, my short review on Genshin Impact. Fantastic game, very unique. There's a reason why for a gacha game it's gotten so popular here in the East. Games like that don't normally do well here. In the West, I'm sorry. Games like that don't usually do well in the West, but this game has done well, and that's because of the presentation. That's because of the fact that it doesn't make you feel like you're forced to pay to win. You're certainly not. I've been winning, and I have not spent a dime. So go check it out. Now, moving on to The Boys Season 2, because I think by now everybody's seen it. I don't think there's any surprise. I thought Season 2 was really good. I liked the expansion on Homelander. There were actually moments in this season where they made you want to feel for Homelander, and I thought it worked. Despite this man's evilness, his darkness, we got to see what it would be like if this man just had someone who genuinely loved him, if he was raised with a loving family. And you got to see this through his son, through how he felt about his son. Now, some may say, well, at the end he did call him a little shit, but I don't think that was that. I don't think that's really how he feels. I think in that moment, he's very frustrated. He's very angry, and he sees the butcher with his son in his arms, and he's not very happy about that. And he tries to force the butcher into leaving him, just leaving his son because, like, again, spoilers if you haven't seen it, take off. Because obviously Homelander's son accidentally kills the butcher's wife, his mother, while trying to save her from Stormfront, who was choking her out. So I believe that Homelander said that strategically to try and get the butcher to leave him be so he could take his son. There's a lot of mystery still surrounding Black Noir, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get an answer to that next year. I was hoping we would get it this year, but it seems like we did not. But we did, however, get an answer to who exactly was blowing up heads. I was a little surprised until I saw breakdowns online showing how they were really telling us who it was in plain sight. And I thought that was an amazing way to set that up. I thought it was an amazing way to write it in. And now that we know who it is, I don't remember the character's name, but obviously she's the politician. If you're hip to Modern Warfare, she also played Farah in the Modern Warfare games. So that actress is amazing. She's really good. And so I thought season 2 was really good. The deep story was very underwhelming. Now, it's not to say they're not going anywhere with that. Again, we'll probably have to see it next year. But I kind of feel like in some ways they're writing the story for the Deep because they're not too sure what to do with him yet. I hope they find that and fix it and bring that to a head really early next year. I mean, you got to think about it. They're only talking about, if they're only doing 8 episodes a season, you know, you don't have a whole hell of a lot of time before you need to start giving us an answer as to what's the deal with the Deep. And you need to kind of let us know what's going on with Black Noir. I think those are two big key elements they have to give us at some point before the middle of next season. I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic now to see how Huey is now very much working for the lady who was blowing up heads. And we still need to find out the other lady from the mental institute who was basically crushing people with her hands. We need to find out what's going to happen with that. Does she just kind of take off and we never see her again? Is she going to play a role? Is she going to pop up? The way they've been writing this story and they've been setting this show up, I don't think they're just going to leave that be. I think that's going to come back to a head at some point, but I could be wrong. But that's just the feeling I get based on how they've done the show so far. So I don't know anything about the comics. I haven't looked into it for the sheer purpose that I don't want to get spoiled with main story elements. I know that these things tend to change when they get transferred into either a movie or a show. But I know that normally they do try to keep big story elements from the comic into the main story. So I didn't want to get spoiled too much. So I have not looked into the comics or anything. So the only thing I do know is because everybody's been talking about it is that next year there's supposed to be a character called Soldier Boy who is played by the short-haired brother from Supernatural. And I say that because I do not know the actor's name. I've only ever seen him in Supernatural. I've never seen him in anything else, so I'm not familiar with him because I don't watch Supernatural. But so we'll see how that element plays out, and the same thing with Stormfront. It seems like she's alive. I'm kind of happy they kept it that way because I thought the character and the actress were too good. You know, and when I say the character, I mean, you know, she's the kind of character you love to hate. Too good to let go this early. So we'll see how that goes. I thought The Boys was really good, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, and again, when we talk about entertainment, I mean, what else is there? You know, we have The Mandalorian coming out later this month. Have I been watching anything other than that? Well, today the new volume of Unsolved Mysteries came out on Netflix, right on time because I think the end of this week is when my subscription expires. So at least I'll be able to check that out before I go from Netflix. And really, that's all. Now, one of the things that I talk about this a lot, you guys know this, especially if you've been here for a long time. This channel was obviously made by Godzilla. And let's face it, I have not talked about Godzilla in so long that I'm sure people think either I'm not a big fan anymore or that I don't care. And it's not that. It has nothing to do with that. I was actually thinking about it today because I'm supposed to be getting my 2019 Godzilla figure in the coming weeks, and I'm very, very excited to get that piece. It's the X Plus 2019, and I got to thinking to myself, I still want to see this movie. I still want to see this movie. I think the thing of it is I thought back to 2014, and that was a very novel thing. We had no idea where they were going up until they started providing more information. We had no idea it was going to be a solo movie. And I'm talking about when we first heard about the movie. We didn't know if it was going to be solo. We didn't know if he was going to fight other monsters. Everyone was speculating. The channel had just taken off because, I had gotten access to the trailer from a friend of mine who actually spoke to that friend today. It was pretty cool. Because we were talking about the leak photo or the set photo for the Superman, which for the new the set. I'm sure you guys have heard about it, but there on the new Batman set, there's been a photo of someone in the Superman outfit. Probably was just a costume party, but then again, there's nobody else in that picture with costumes on, so But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. And I'm very much looking forward to Godzilla. I am. I want to see it. I think at this point, I don't really care. First of all, I think we know what's to come. I think that's why it's kind of tough to really speculate anymore. We kind of know what's to come. We've known it since before anything. I mean, you really think about it. Everything we know about this movie coming out next year, we've learned through toys, through leaks. If the leaks remain, if they turn out to be true, if the toys turn out to be accurate, we've learned everything there is to know about this movie. There's really nothing left to speculate. There's really very little to talk about. There might be a couple of mysteries left, like whether or not Charles Dance is officially going to be in the movie or not. I think he is. Whether or not there's certain story elements we've heard rumors about, whether or not they're going to come true. At this point, it's basically a waiting game. By this time, we should have gotten a trailer. We have not. This movie has. It's been it hasn't really been a long wait, but it feels like a long wait. And when you look at the lockdown and all that stuff that's happened this year, it feels like a very long wait, but it really hasn't been. Even when the movie comes out next year, it hasn't been a long wait. But I think at this point, there's not, in my opinion, for me, there's really nothing else to talk about. I'm just at the point now where I just want to see the movie. I could hear 101 rumors. I could do 101 speculation videos, which would be hard to do with any genuineness because I already have a decent idea of what's going on. When I used to do these videos in 2014, I had no clue. I would do these videos without having any idea what was happening. And then what I would do is when we did find out some little trickle of information, I would turn around and update those videos or do a different kind of speculation. This time, it's not really that hard to speculate. It's not really that hard to kind of guess because we've gotten so much unofficial information. I'm hoping that we get to see something regarding this movie either before the end of the year or early next year. Something. I'm still very much interested in seeing a trailer. I think that's all I'm interested at this point. There could be another interview and entertainment with one of the characters or one of the actors in the movie. At this point, I don't care. I really don't. I just want to see the movie at this point. So, it's been a very tough year for entertainment. It has. Not only as someone who watches entertainment, but as someone, as an entertainer. I'm sure it's been a little bit tough because, even though these people have all the money in the world, they're not doing anything. They're sitting around and, but at the same time, there are ways, back in March, the movie industry was looking at the government or looking to the government for a bailout, which when I read this, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous because if Hollywood wants to bail themselves out of anything, just start making good movies. Just stop making remakes and start making good movies. You can bail yourself out pretty easily. Um, I'm hoping next year is a good year for entertainment. I'm talking about getting back to the movies. I really do think it'll be over this year, but since pretty much every movie for the rest of the year has been pushed back, it's really next year we have to look forward to. And I really don't think, I really do think, I should say, that next year will be a stronger year for entertainment. I do think it'll be nice just to be able to go back to the movies, even if not everybody's ready to go back. I am so ready. I'm so ready. I'm tired of the mask. I'm tired of the lockdowns. Not every state is locked down. But this state that I live in personally is still partially locked down. I can't wait till my kids go back to school. It's been a very bad year for entertainment. There just hasn't been much to keep us entertained outside of if you're a big gamer or whatever content that you like to watch on the internet. But in terms of movies, it's really been dry. And again, like I said earlier, it makes it very tough. It makes it very tough to get excited for things you're hearing about in the future when in the present there's not even anything getting you excited. So, real quick, going back. So yeah, I'm sure all of you know by now because this is 3 days old. So there was a photo leak from the set of Batman, and there's somebody in a Superman outfit. I looked at it, and based on what I saw, to me it just looks like somebody that might be wearing a Superman outfit. I don't think it's necessarily that Superman is cameoing in the movie. But if he did, I mean, it's not a total surprise, right? I mean, he has a very tight relationship with Batman, and he is part of the DC. So even if he does cameo in Batman, would it be all that surprising? I don't think so. But at the same time, when you consider and I'll pull the picture up here real quick, just so we can all see it, even people who watch this later. I mean, when you see this, I don't know if you guys, it's a little small. Let me see if I can pull up a bigger picture. There it is. I mean, when you look at how dark this movie looks, when you see how dark it's going to look, I don't think that's the Superman they would go for. I think it would be an outfit more akin to the Man of Steel, maybe with a little darker tone. But the thing of it is, like, the same argument is because there were people saying, "Oh, it's just a Halloween party." Well, why is this the only guy dressed up? So I don't know. You guys take it for whatever you will. I'm gonna guess that it's just either someone memeing. Maybe there is a costume party, but all the other people in costume are maybe not in the shot, even though there's a bunch of people there. I don't know. So, and you could also see the boots. I mean, let me pull it back up here. If you look closely on the bottom, you see the blue tights and you see the boots. So yeah, I don't know. It's certainly a cape. You can clearly see it's a cape with boots and tights. So, yeah, interesting stuff. But we'll see. Even if it is, I wouldn't. I mean, it's not anything for me to go crazy about because I'm more interested in the Man of Steel version of Superman than I am in pretty much any other Superman that they're going to try to bring to the forefront. So if they happen to cameo Superman in the Batman movie, I have no interest in that Superman. My interest is in Henry Cavill's Superman and the Man of Steel universe. So. All right. Now, outside of that, I really don't know what else to talk in terms of entertainment. I really don't. I'm kind of biding time at this point to get through this year. We got The Mandalorian coming up, so we'll definitely talk a lot about that. I don't think I haven't been in theaters at all this year. I don't see myself being in the theaters for the remainder of the year. Most of them are closed. There's some that are still open in this area. There was a theater that was open. It's actually on the news where I live, and it looked like a ghost town, which might be the perfect time to go in and watch a movie. So maybe I'll look it up and see what they're showing. But unless they're showing Tenet, I don't really think there's anything else I'm interested in watching. But I'm going to tell you right now, give it another 3 weeks. If you're in a state and you guys are still locked down, just give it 3 more weeks. You'll be out of lockdown. And just do, when it's out of lockdown, go out and enjoy yourself. Just take responsibility. that normal stuff, social distance and all that. But I do think that the light is at the end of the tunnel. And I certainly feel that 2021 will be a better year in terms of entertainment and things to come. And there's a lot of movies I'm looking forward to next year outside of Godzilla. I've been through those 100 times. Some of those were supposed to be this year, but I've been kind of getting my entertainment from gaming. As I said, like I was talking about before, Genshin Impact is a very fun game. I've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare, probably an unhealthy amount of Modern Warfare since I haven't been really doing content the last 2 weeks. So I've basically been taking my frustrations out on other players. And in that time, I think I found my old touchback. So I've been I should have been recording how I've been playing lately. It's almost sad, but I haven't. But I will soon. So yeah, and that's it. I know this is a short cast for the entertainment section, only 30 minutes. But again, really hasn't been much to talk about. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break. And when I say that, that doesn't mean I'm going off camera. I'm going to give people an opportunity to leave the stream now because in 10 minutes, we're going to start the political portion of the podcast, which I normally would do on Rob Talks, but I cannot stream on Rob Talks and E.T.N at the same time. And I want to make content for Rob Talks, so I'm going to do it here. So if you have no interest in politics, now's the time to go. And I'll chill with you guys in chat for about 10 minutes before we get to that part. Hello, chat. How's everybody doing? Rob, did you hear about a possible sequel game to Godzilla PS4? There is a petition for it. Yeah, petition doesn't go anywhere. They're not gonna. I don't think they'll make a sequel to that game. It didn't make a whole lot of money. It didn't do good here in the States, and it was panned. That's not a formula for a sequel. I wouldn't get my hopes up. Not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just being real with you. Mando trailer Rob halftime of the football game. Then on their Twitter page, I see around 9:30. Ah, cool. Rob, I made a video. Congratulations. Did anyone check on Cosner's girlfriend lately? Is she okay? Haha. What's going on? Have you heard of the new Godzilla anime? I did hear about the new Godzilla anime. What's going on, Figment? Jonathan, glad you're doing well. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. How are you feeling today? Like I said, ever since I've been walking around barefooted, maybe the socks were cutting off. So I don't know what it was, but I got so aggravated with how my feet were feeling like last Friday. I just wanted some relief. And I usually walk around with socks on. That's like my thing. You know what I mean? Because, you walk around with those socks and your feet get dirty. But now I have like a drawer full of clean socks because I have not worn them in like 3 days. So I think I will be looking forward to the new Godzilla anime more than Godzilla vs. Kong, but that might change later on. Yeah, it might. It will, actually. When you see a live action Godzilla trailer or Godzilla movie, it's always better. It's just that we haven't gotten anything. So it makes it hard to be excited, I understand. Rob, you being back has been a godsend. Definitely needed a break from real life. Glad you're feeling better. It's been pretty rough over this way. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. I know it's tough, dude. Like, I've only had two things to do, outside of the normal responsibilities. Like my free time, it's either watch the news or play video games. And I've been playing a lot of video games because I'm just tired of watching. I don't want to watch the news anymore. Like, I want this election to be over already. It's getting annoying. Rob, did you see Space Jam 2 news? No, because I'm not interested in Space Jam. I don't like LeBron James, and they don't need to make another Space Jam movie, but they are, so let them. I have no interest. I will not see it, not even for free. Speaking of Godzilla vs. Kong, wonder if we're going to get a trailer this year if May 2021 release date is true. I think the May release date will still happen. And whether or not we get a trailer before the end of the year, I mean, I don't know. I hope so, but if not, then, we'll obviously get one next year. To be honest, I'd rather have, but that's my opinion. You're watching baseball. This is the Dodgers' year. Yeah, they say that every year until they lose in the playoffs or in the World Series. But no, I haven't been watching baseball. It's just been kind of boring. Kaijusaurus, I never watching you. So, have you been playing Call of Duty Cold War beta? I was gonna play the other night, and then it said download begin, and I stopped. The download size for these Call of Duty games is my biggest complaint. They need to find a way to control that. I have one hard drive in my computer that's pretty much all Call of Duty because I have the game. I have Warzone. Then you got all the updates. I've literally had to uninstall shit to make room for this goddamn game. So as much as I want to play the beta, I don't think I want to do the download. And this is on PC. You're going to take your son to see Godzilla vs. Megalon. They'll be playing that and a few other Godzilla movies. No. Again, I mean, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, but I can't see myself paying money to go see that shit in the theater. I mean, I have it. You know what I mean? It's like... I agree with that, Figment. I really do. They should give everyone a dedicated, like, 600 gigabyte, 700 gigabyte hard drive. I don't care if they charge an extra like $10, whatever. I don't give a shit. But I'm tired of like my whole hard drive being dedicated to Call of Duty. It's annoying how people keep clickbaiting about Godzilla vs. Kong and some other films. I just hope clickbaiting on movies dies down in the future. Clickbaiting is not dying down. It generates too much money because people click it. Rob, I'm glad you're feeling better. To be honest, I'm going to skip Cold War and wait for the sequel for Modern Warfare. You're going to skip Cold War? Oh, well, sucks to be you, man. Why the worst Godzilla movies? The drive is the only thing open in my... The drive-in is the only thing open in your area? Yeah. Don't forget, WandaVision comes on after Mando is finished. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that. Thank you. I don't want to go to the theaters until I know for a fact this whole mask shit is gone forever. Well... I think you'll see masks for a while until people feel comfortable. I think what you need to understand is that COVID's not going anywhere. So whether you wear a mask or not, you're always going to have COVID over your shoulder. You're going to get it. One way or another, you're going to get it. There's no avoiding it. So, but if it makes you feel better, there was a new study that came out that shows that as recent as the end of the summer to this point, because of the improvement of treatments and things like that, people who are 70 and older have a survival rate of 94%, which is insanely, insanely good. Which means if you're like under 70, under 70 is like 98%, and then anything under like 50 is like 100%. Recently, not overall, recently, because there have been improved medicine and things like that. So if you're like in your 20s and 30s, just go out, dude. Don't fearmonger. You know, especially don't listen to the media. This is money for them right now. The more scared you are, the more money they make. Why do you think they keep talking about this shit like it's the worst pandemic in the world? It really isn't. Just go out there, catch it, and get it over with. Dude, the fucking president and like his whole staff survived, okay? These are guys that are overweight, fat, in their 60s and 70s. You know what I mean? If they can survive it in a matter of 3 days, you're good. Trust me. I have 2 underlying conditions that if I had caught COVID like back in March or February, I probably would have croaked, okay? Right now, I'm ready to swallow the motherfucker and get it over with. Get it in my system, out my system. I'm not, you know what I mean? So don't let it screw up your life, dude. Just go out there and enjoy yourself. That's all you can do, especially if you're young. Anybody who's young that is afraid of this disease are insanely misinformed. Like you have been brainwashed. If you're like anywhere from the age of like 2 to 40, you literally have nothing to worry about. You literally can go out there and drink a vial of COVID and you'll come out clean on the next day. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, if I was 25 right now, I'd be like, yo, let me get a cup of COVID, drink that shit, let my immune system get used to it, and then be like, all right, I'm good. They said there's going to be a vaccine as early as before the end of the year. But honestly, again, if you're young, just go out there and get it. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, I know people, somebody here, you crazy motherfucker, or YouTube would be like, don't listen to. Look, believe me, I pay attention to this because I have to. Okay, I really do. I have to be real careful because of my underlying condition. Diabetes is the one thing that will kill you if you catch COVID, because with diabetes, it takes time to heal. Your body fights things off like 3 times slower than they normally would, which means any deadly disease has a chance of beating you before you have a chance to mount up a fight. So I have to be careful. This is why I'm always reading about it. And when I'm talking about reading about it, I'm not talking about news outlets. I'm talking about the CDC. I'm talking about other doctors, different opinions, trying to learn everything I can. And right now, I would go out there, no mask, perfectly fine. I wouldn't be worried about it. Especially after what happened to me in August. Believe me, if you're young, you got nothing to worry about. You really, really don't. I've definitely been doing more outside, even though the lockdown's been occurring. Exercising, getting a job was going to be go to school and be strict, but keep in mind, a lot of people probably have had it without getting symptoms. So many of us might have. Yeah, that's true too. Some of you guys might have had that shit already and not even know. Because most people are asymptomatic, which what means is you have it, you carry it, it's gone through your system, but you don't get any symptoms. Social media gods have flat out removed or flagged posts as possible misinformation containing actual updated survival rates for CDC. 70 under is 99% plus, and 70 and over is 94.6. Yep, exactly. 94.6 survival rate if you're over 70. So if you're 22, 23, 24, 20, go out there and have fun. Enjoy yourself. Just stay away from old people. That's all. So, Rob, you're not going to see my video? Not right now. I'm about to start the second part of the podcast. So, when H1Z1 happened, we didn't shut down the nation. You mean H1N1? Yeah, H1N1. Yeah. And you know what happened? 65 million people were infected. Think about that. Now, a lot of people didn't die from H1N1 because thankfully it wasn't very deadly. And imagine this, it wasn't even as contagious as COVID is. How many infections have we had here in this country? What, 1 million? 1 million for a disease that is 4 times as infectious, if not more, than H1N1. We've had 200,000 deaths. Could you imagine the amount of deaths we would have had in this country if they didn't take the approach they did, or if they took an approach similar to that of H1N1? If we had 65 million people in this country infected, with 20% of them dying, we'd be at like what, 5-6 million people, if not more. So, you know, I think they did a good job. You know, nobody likes to see people die, but you know, I mean, realistically, that's how these things happen. You know, if you're afraid, I personally believe if you're afraid of dying, you have a better chance of dying. It's like if you ever play sports, your coach tells you, don't play half-assed because that's when you get injured. They say play full speed at 100%. It's true. If you play half-assed, you're more likely to get injured. Well, in life, it's the same thing. If you're going to walk around always scared that you're going to die, chances are you're going to die. But if you just live life as normal, you know, your time comes when it comes. There's really nothing you can do about that either way. So why the fuck are you going to sit in the corner? Especially with you young guys, man. Man, fuck, man. If I was 22, 23 right now, man, I would not be sitting home scared of COVID, man. I'll be out there just chilling, doing whatever I can do. All right. second part of the podcast. So you guys had 10 minutes to leave for those of you who are not interested in politics. So here we go. All right. I have been very much paying attention to what's been going on in this country for the last 2.5 weeks. The last video I did, and that was politically related, was talking about when Trump called the coup, and that's already come and gone. We've had a second debate since then, and, well, here we are. First thing I want to talk about, just to play a little catch up, because I said that's what I was going to do with this podcast, briefly talk about the Harris and Pence debate, hence. That actually would have been a good play on words if they were campaigning partners. I thought it was a thorough evisceration of Kamala Harris by Mike Pence. He did what he needed to do. He stuck to his talking points. He stuck to what his administration has done that have been positive things. He fought off anything that was trying to question or put into question some of the success that the Trump campaign has had. Of course, the big campaign push by the other side, primarily Biden and Harris, has been Orange Man bad and Orange Man failed COVID. If you're racked on emotion, if you're driven by emotion, if you're driven by, oh my God, people are dead, oh my Lord, what did he do? Then yeah, they do a good job of making it seem like it's really bad. If you look at the truth and you look at the statistics, it's not nearly as bad. It's not nearly as bad. Just before I started this cast here, I was talking to chat and we were talking about some of us. I was mentioning to them the new CDC report, or not CDC, but new reports showing that at this point, 94.6% of people over the age of 70 are surviving COVID-19, which means that yes, more people are catching it, but a lot more people are surviving now. And that's because naturally, over the course of months, with study, with practice, doctors are going to find ways to better treat the COVID. And we're seeing that now. So this idea that's being pushed that the Trump administration has done a horrible job dealing with COVID is just people accepting the battery in their back that the Democrats have given them. Case in point, during H1N1, another form of the flu, many years ago, 65 million people got infected. And thankfully, that disease was not nearly as fatal, and it also was not nearly as contagious as the COVID. So 65 million people versus over 1 million people now that have been infected with COVID. So who had a better plan? Because even though that disease was not nearly as infectious, even though it wasn't nearly as deadly, there's no excuse that 65 million people should be infected with a disease if you're prepared. So if you take that by comparison, I think it's a no-brainer. You would be making excuses just to try and side with whatever side you're on. If you're looking at things logically, if you're looking at things with a level head, and if you're looking at things without emotion driving you, the Trump administration has done an excellent job against COVID. There's no question about it. The proof is in the pudding. There's evidence to show, and there's really no argument. There's really no argument anymore. So the idea that the Biden and Harris campaign continue to push this whole message that he's failed on COVID, it will resonate with people who don't like Donald Trump. It will resonate for people who are on the left. It will resonate with people who don't like to look at facts. And we have a big problem in this country with people who don't like facts. That is a problem. That is called not accepting reality. Look, if you're not going to accept reality, I don't know what, I wouldn't know what to tell you. Like, if someone shows you evidence that is sound evidence, that is factual, that is truthful, and you decide to ignore it because you don't like where it's coming from, what else? There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. You know, the idea that the Trump administration has successfully dealt with COVID, that's not going to resonate with people on the left. That's not going to resonate with people who hate him anyway. So, but what's important is that people down the middle know the truth, because there are still sound, logical people who want honesty, who will accept facts, that will see this evidence and say, you did a good job. And that's all that matters. The people who want to ignore the truth, the people who want to just say that it's fake or whatever because they just don't like the president, I mean, they're going to have to go ahead and continue living in their own world. I don't see, there's no solution for that. I have nothing for those people. I don't know what else to tell them. If you're bought and sold by what the Democrats and the far leftists on their side are selling you, then you're already sold. So that's that. Now, within this whole time period, we also had the Amy Coney Barrett hearing. And I got to say, you know, I didn't watch a whole lot of it. The first day were all the opening statements. Once I realized it was only going to be opening statements, I turned it off. I have no interest in hearing opening statements. The second day, I paid attention a lot because I wanted to hear what she had to say. I wanted to hear how she would respond. And it didn't take me, you know, a couple hours I watched. It didn't take me very long to realize just how intelligent this woman is. And what's even more shocking is here is a woman who is highly intelligent. She's been a professor. She's got 7 kids, 2 of them adopted. She's married. I mean, and she went in there. She took whatever little beating, and I say a little beating because they didn't go after her like they went after Kavanaugh. I think they learned their lesson. Many people believe, and I agree with this assessment, that going after Kavanaugh cost the Democrats the Senate back in 2018. I believe that's true. I believe if they had not gone after Kavanaugh the way they did, they probably would have won the Senate. But I think this time they learned their lesson. They did take some shots at her. They did ask her stupid questions. But for the most part, they were very passive, more passive than I think most people expected them to be. And what's even better is whenever they did ask snide questions or had snide remarks, Amy Coney Barrett went right back after them. She really, really showed her strength. If what she says is true, and I don't see any reason to be that it's not true, if she calls cases based on the Constitution of this country, then what you should see is some cases ruled in favor of the Democrats and some cases ruled in favor of the Republicans. And that's how it should be. One side should never continuously win over the other. It's always got to be down the middle when there's a justice in the Supreme Court, in the Supreme Court system. It should always be down the middle. If it's based on the Constitution, it will always be fair, even if you don't like it, even if you disagree with it. That's the idea. There shouldn't be one side happy that the decisions were made constantly in their favor, because that means it's rigged. We don't want a rigged system. We want a true justice system. And I really believe that she's going to call it like it is. And I think the reaction some people have to her being there is ridiculous. There was one person on Twitter, I forget his name, but I did mention it the last time I streamed. I think we had this conversation. And he accused her of being racist and only adopting her kids because she wanted to use them as props. That is utterly ridiculous. Anyone who has kids know that when you hold a baby in your hand, that is the most the greatest feeling in the world. Any baby. It is it's the greatest thing. Holding a small child, it doesn't matter what color they are. Holding them in your arms is such a fantastic feeling. So I don't think Amy Coney Barrett held her adopted children in her arms and said, "Oh, you're going to help me get into the Supreme Court one day." It doesn't work that way. So I'm looking forward to her joining the judicial system in the Supreme level. And I think she's going to be great. I think she's going to call it down the middle, and that's how it should be. Now, we go from this, and this is still going on too. Like a lot of these things are still happening. These are just things that started a couple of weeks ago. They're still occurring today. including this Hunter Biden story. Now, there's a laptop. It has emails. It's been corroborated. There's a picture of Hunter Biden with a crack pipe. It's no secret he's had drug problems. He's been in rehabilitation. Whatever Hunter Biden's doing is not the issue here. It's not like anybody didn't know about that. The problem here are two things. Number one is that so far in these emails, they have found that it seems that Joe Biden has been benefiting from some of the finances that Hunter Biden has been collecting. That's a problem. The other thing is there was a text message he sent to his daughter where he said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to take part of your salary like your grandfather did to me." There's emails suggesting that Biden might have gotten 10% in some deals and 50% in others. Now, does this mean Biden and Hunter are going to go to jail? No. Does this mean that this is corrupt? Yes. There's certain elements of corruption that are not necessarily illegal, believe it or not. But the question becomes, is this the kind of person do you want running the country? Someone who has accepted money from other countries in exchange for political favors. There is a clip going around of Joe Biden talking exactly quid pro quo, where he made a deal with Ukraine, basically asking them to fire an investigator who was looking into Burisma and their shady dealings in exchange for money that was owed to Ukraine legally. This money was legal. This is the same money that they get every year from the United States in terms of defense spending and things like that. This is the same money that people thought Donald Trump was doing a quid pro quo, I think, last year. It's the same money they get every year. However, Joe Biden is on record saying, basically making a quid pro quo deal. Fire this person that's investigating Burisma, which is the company that his son was on the board for, collecting money every month, even though he had no experience or background in that field. In exchange, we'll give you the government money that we give you annually for defense spending or whatever the money's used for. So that is a big problem. That is a big problem. And you can tell how big of a problem it is when a great majority of the news outlets are trying to downplay it. No one's asking him about it directly. And of course, the big bomb to me, which to me, this is bigger than the Hunter Biden stuff. The Biden stuff is bad, but this to me is big. And that is the censorship of the story on Twitter and Facebook. I've been saying it for a while now. I know that I have not been doing many videos on Rob Talks, but if you go look at some of my older videos, I've been saying it for a while. The mask is off. There are no secrets anymore. When you take one of the oldest news outlets, I think 95 years, close to 100 years, Daily Post, and you censor one of their stories, which they already corroborated. In other words, they have a receipt for the laptop, which showed that Hunter Biden signed it off when he dropped it off at the store. The emails in the laptop, the exchange of emails have all been corroborated. This is a true story. This is not a hoax. This is not Russia in reverse against Biden. This is factual evidence that this man has had corrupt dealings. Now, why would Twitter and Facebook and some of the other smaller social network companies censor this information when for so many years they have been posting or allowing posts regarding Donald Trump and his Russia, and this and that? I mean, can we stop pretending like Twitter and Facebook are not, biased? Can we stop pretending that they have no say or are not going to get involved in the election? Can we accept the truth now? Okay? Can we just stop playing these games? And here's the funny thing. Here is what gets me. Twitter and Facebook are in a no-win situation. After this happened, if Trump wins, he's going to go after them with good reason. But if Trump were to lose, do you think the Democrats are not going to come after social media? Susan Warren has been frothing at the mouth to go and put some sort of government control on Twitter and Facebook. Now, that wouldn't be good for Facebook and Twitter, but it also wouldn't be good for the rest of us because it would be redesigned to be another institution that the Democrats own and run. So I don't know what Twitter and Facebook are thinking. They have a better chance of surviving under Trump than they do under the Democrats. The worst Trump will do is make it so that they have to post fairly. That's the worst they'll do. He wouldn't try and restructure the company. He wouldn't try and take over the institution. You let the Democrats in there, guess what? Jack Dorsey, go home. You can leave your techies here. We'll take over. Watch. They'll go after them. There's too much money. There's too much money. And, it's amazing to me that there's so many people on that side that are very happy about this. And you want to know something? These things will eventually come back to bite you. If you think censorship is a good thing because it helps your side, if you think censorship is a good thing because it puts you in a winning position, it's only a matter of time before it turns around and it affects you too. Once you allow this stuff, once you allow it, that does not mean you're immune to it. I don't care how woke you are. I don't care how much you're on the left. I don't care how democratic you think you are. This very system that you're cheering will be used against you if you don't fight against it. You see, we as a country, or even as people, forget this is our country. Why are we fighting each other for politicians? Really? Why are we fighting? At the end of the day, this is our country. It doesn't belong to the government. I mean, it's their country too on a more personal, individual standpoint. But in terms of the establishment of government and the Senate, they are supposed to work for us. They're supposed to do what we ask them to do. They're supposed to legislate things that we want. And when they legislate, they need to legislate for the collective good, not over emotion. I'm really kind of tired of this whole emotional reaction that a lot of people have when it comes to politics. If you're running politics on emotion, or if you're responding to politics from an emotional standpoint, you're doing it wrong. By far, you're doing it wrong. You see, a lot of people complain, I don't like Donald Trump. He has no empathy and this and that. He's such an asshole. You want to know something? I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because he is supposed to do a job. I don't care how he talks. I don't care what he tweets. I don't care how much he makes people cry. His job is to legislate. This is why a lot of people are always surprised, especially even my buddy I spoke to today, when I told him the other day, because we hadn't spoken to each other in 6 years. He was very shocked when I told him I was voting Trump. And we had a whole discussion about it. And he said, how could you vote for this guy? He's an asshole. He's this, he's that. All these things that I'm like, yeah, you're right. And he's like, so why would you? I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. I judge the man on his actions, not his words. I mean, isn't that how we're supposed to judge people? Based on the actions, based on the content of their character? You know how much people in this world talk shit? Everyone talks trash. Everyone. So because he goes on Twitter and he says something ridiculous, I'm supposed to be offended? Sorry. Just because we have a certain way we think someone should act as a president doesn't mean that that person has to act that way. Every time I get tired of hearing this, it's not very presidential. Well, guess what? You're not the president. So whatever you think is presidential does not mean he has to conform to that. He is his own person, the president, And to be honest, it's nice to see someone act like a normal person when they're president. Not this, they go out there and they do this, right? This is the most popular one. And I'm going to tell you here, we are here in this country. And they do this and they have that certain talk and that certain dialect and the certain words they use. It's called political jargon. It is purposely done that way so that you see them in a different light. And of course it works. It brainwashes a lot of people into thinking that that's how a president should be. No, there's still people, politicians are still people that are out there. I mean, and then on top of that, how could anyone on the left side be so seriously offended by any little thing this man says when you're out there saying the most raunchous shit about anyone? So it's good for you guys, but it's not good for the other team. When the other team does it, it's and then you want to fan yourself in the corner because you're obviously offended. I have looked at everything Donald Trump has done in terms of legislation, in terms of how he took care of COVID, his foreign policy, which has been insanely good. You see people outside of this country, the foundation or the organization that runs like the Pulitzer Prize system, excuse me, not Pulitzer Prize, Nobel Prize system, they don't see things the way we see them. They're not part of this political mix. See, they have, 3 of them have already nominated for him to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because they see his actions. And if you see the man's actions and stop listening to every little dumb thing he puts on Twitter, you will see that he really does love this country. He really does care for this country. And he's not perfect. He's made mistakes. He said dumb things. He has said some of the stupidest things. And it does anger me. But a lot of times it doesn't really anger me because I'm offended. It angers me because it hurts him. It's like he's his own worst enemy. There's nothing anyone in this world could do to make Donald Trump look bad except Donald Trump. Donald Trump came into this full of mud. You know, when they talk about politics and there's elections, there's this thing called flinging mud. What you do is you find something bad about your opponent and you fling the mud at them to hurt their election chances. Like, you find out, like in this state, for example, North Carolina, you have Tom Tillis versus a gentleman named Cunningham. I forget his first name. Well, Cunningham just, we found out a couple of weeks ago that he had an affair against his wife. That's called flinging mud. Is it a dirty tactic? Yes, but it's still true. He had an affair. He's already admitted to it. He's held himself accountable. That's a tactic. The reason Donald Trump is his own worst enemy is because think about how much mud has been flung this man's way, even before the first time he won the election. And it had no effect on him. Why? Because people already knew this man before he got into office. They've seen him on TV. He's had other stories before. Everyone knows that he cheats on his wife. Everyone knows that he's been married 3 times. He has kids from 3 different women. You think this man doesn't have mud on him? People know he does. So when the Democrats or anyone else throws mud at Donald Trump, it doesn't hurt him. But he hurts himself when he goes out there and he says dumb shit. So that's why I get upset about what he says. I don't get upset at him because and don't talk to me about, because people would say, oh, but he's a liar. Well, you know what? Every politician's a liar. At this point, I don't let it bother me that much. Do I like them lying? No. Should they lie? No. Do they? Yes, they all do. The Republican and Democrat. Bush was a liar. Hell, as much as I love Reagan was a liar. They're all liars. Okay, I'm not going to hang. It always amazes me when you look at the press or you look at the people and how they react to, oh my God, he lied. Yes, they do that. Where have you been? It's politics. I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying I fully accept it. Depends what kind of lie it is. For a prime example, we talk about the lie Donald Trump had that he got caught on earlier this year with his interview with Woodward, where he's saying he played it down because he didn't want to cause a panic. It is a lie. That was a lie. But what's the motive behind that lie? You see, they try to convince you, well, he did that because he wanted to kill people, or because he hate, or this and that, or because he's stupid. No, I think anyone in that position would have tried to tell the public to remain calm It's not that bad. We still need to learn more, whatever. However way you deliver it, you're not supposed to cause a panic. That's rule number one. Don't cause a panic. We even have rules for that. Okay? We even have genuine rules for that. Federal law. Anyone ever heard of the federal law? What is it? One of the most common examples they use for it is screaming there's a fire in a movie theater. I can't remember if it's called presenting a clear and present day. Someone either in chat later or in the comment section of this podcast when it goes up on the video will mention it. But the point I'm trying to make is there's a difference between inciting panic on purpose and then telling people a lie to keep things calm. At the end of it all, though, was that lie really that bad when you consider where we're at now with COVID? I mean, has it really been as big as a lot of people say it's been? I mean, look at the numbers. Compare it to H1N1, which I just spoke about a little while ago. Imagine if H1N1 was COVID when it came out. We have over 1 million infected in this country. We had over 60 million, close to 65 million people infected with H1N1. I was one of them. I had that shit, and it's not pleasant. I didn't get it as bad as some people got it, but let me tell you something. I had the worst fever with the worst joint pains you will ever experience. If you've ever seen Alien, when the little alien pops out the chest, every time I coughed, that's what it felt like. It felt like that looked. Like something was going to cut, like my ribs were like rattling in pain. So if you're a logical person, down the middle, you're looking at things from every point of view you can, then you know for a fact that the COVID-19 was handled fine. It's never going to be perfect. Any kind of pandemic, any kind of disease, there will be casualties. That is unavoidable. That's the kind of truth that I think Donald Trump tried to convey. And he, again, prime example, the worst words you can use, it is what it is. They're very stupid. It's a very dumb thing to say. It is what it is. What he should have said was, look, we don't want one person dying. We never do. But the truth of it is when you're dealing with a pandemic that you can't control, that you know nothing of, or not can't control, you don't want to say that, but when you're dealing with a pandemic you know very little about, when it comes from a different country, when it's as infectious as this is, and as deadly as it turned out to be, people will die. That's unavoidable no matter how many precautions we take. That's just the truth. And I know it's not a truth people want to hear, but the truth often is not something people want to hear, and oftentimes people have a hard time accepting. But that's the truth. That's it. It doesn't sound great, but it's the truth. It's the truth. So, again, if you hate Trump, if you're voting Biden, if you're on the left, it doesn't matter what I say. So you can just stop listening to me. But if you're down the middle, I can tell you right now, the decision here is either socialism and extreme PC, and socialism always leads to communism, or you send another message to the United States government and you vote in Trump, because Donald Trump is the biggest FU to the government. That's how I see it. Now, there's another debate coming up. On Rob Talks, we will live stream that debate as well. And the conversations will continue now that I'm feeling a lot better. And we will be streaming the day of the election. I'm going to be ready for that. Despite my confidence, despite what I believe, until the deal is done, I'm never convinced one has an edge over the other. It concerns me when I see a lot of Trump supporters going out there saying landslide, it's going to be a piece of cake, he's going to win. I don't like that approach, because that's what people thought about Hillary, and she got smoked. But surprisingly, you would think that Democrats and people on the left would learn not to be so sure because they think they have this in the bag already. I like to kind of stay even keel because, even my biggest concern, honestly, is losing the Senate. That's a bigger concern to me than anything. Because if we lose the Senate and Trump wins, nothing gets done for 4 years. Nothing. Anything the Republicans try to push will be knocked down in the Senate. Anything the Democrats put through the Senate, Donald Trump's going to veto it. We're going to get no legislation done for 4 years if Trump wins and the Senate goes to the Democrats. However, if the Senate goes to the Democrats and Biden wins, we're in a lot of trouble. Because if you don't think for 1 second that these guys are going to pack the court, you're incompetent. I'm just going to say it straight out. You're dumb. They are going to pack the court. If they weren't going to pack the court, every time they are asked about the court being packed, they would say, no, we're not going to do that. Now, there are some people out there who still don't know what packing the court means. I'll explain it briefly, but I believe the viewers on Rob Talk, for the most part, know what it means. Packing the court basically means using legislation to add more justices to the Supreme Court. Right now, you have 8. Amy Coney Barrett would be the 9th when she gets sworn in. And that way you have 9 justices. If they decide on a Supreme Court case, they vote. Obviously, majority rules. If 5 Supreme Court justices vote against 4 in a certain direction of a Supreme Court case, then it goes with that majority win. But unfortunately, Democrats have had a history of using the Supreme Court to put in justices that will and only will vote in favor of the Democrats. This is how they have managed in the past to put through legislation that they normally can't get through the House and the Senate. So by packing the court, they would be adding 3, we have 9, 10, 11, 12. So they would add 4 seats to the Supreme Court and then pack it with all left-leaning justices. And then you have a major majority in one direction and one direction only for 30, 40 years. And when you consider some of the agenda and some of the legislation that they want to put through, that is a big problem. So that's one thing. The second thing is making Puerto Rico and making DC a state. What is the interest of the Democrats to make these 2 parts a state? Obviously, Puerto Rico is kind of like a step state, for lack of a better term. They're not officially a state, but when you're born in Puerto Rico, you're a citizen. Puerto Ricans can vote even though they don't have, there's no electoral, you know what I mean? But by making them a state, then you get 2 more additions to the Electoral College that are guaranteed Democratic electoral votes. What does this do? This shifts the electoral vote in their favor on a fairly consistent level, because then what this would do is this would negate some of the key losses they tend to get in places like Florida. Florida's always jumps more or less back and forth, but lately it's always a big battleground state, as you know, but this would negate a lot of those swing states and tip the scales in their favor, because they always win the big electoral points like California, New York, you know what I mean? They usually get the Rust Belt. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think that's going to be a very interesting area to watch this year. So these are things that they will do. These are things that they're going to do. And it's not to say that if Trump wins this time, it'll never happen. We're still going to be talking about this 4 years from now, even if Trump wins. But the Senate, to me, is the most important thing to win. Because if the Democrats win the Senate and Trump remains president, we get no legislation. If Biden wins the presidency and the Democrats win the Senate, then you get all this crazy shit. But if the Republicans keep the Senate, President Trump wins, you get legislation. If Biden wins the presidency and the Republicans hold the Senate, then you don't get any of that crazy stuff. So to me, the most important race is actually the Senate race. Because, I can live with Trump losing, no problem. See, I'm not like the people on the left where I'm going to go and scream in the middle of the street and cry. If um, Trump loses and we keep the Senate, it's pretty much no legislation for the Democrats. So that's what's most important to me. But I'm going to end on that note. So I want to thank everybody for watching on Rob Talks. This obviously will be up in this full episode. And if you want something shorter, I'll put little cuts and snippets on the channel. But this is my little catch-up podcast. I said it wasn't going to be too long, but longer than normal. And we're going to continue from there. We're going to watch closely what's going on. We'll continue to watch closely on the Hunter Biden situation, the censorship. Facebook and Twitter are supposed to be being subpoenaed to come into Congress this week and be questioned about the censorship. We're going to watch the next debate live here on the channel. And of course, we'll see Amy Coney Barrett be sworn in, I'm pretty sure, within the next week or so. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And for those of you who are here live, I appreciate you being here. And now that I'm feeling a lot better, we can hit the ground running again. No pun intended. So, all right, guys, thank you. Take it easy. All right. And we're done. See, not bad. Only about an hour and a half. It's not bad. About 45 minutes each. Did it pop up? I didn't see the. I thought I turned my alerts off. I usually turn my alerts off. I didn't see it pop up, so. Thank you for the membership, Acno. I wouldn't have done it if I were you, but I appreciate it. I'm telling you who has the voodoo doll. It's okay. You can tell us. What? Oh, you guys did? I didn't see it on my end. I didn't even hear the alert. It's all right. The dancing shark knows how to work it. Did it? Oh. I didn't see it on my... I mean, you guys saw it on your screen, but I'm watching my screen from OBS, and it didn't pop up on OBS, so... All good. All good. One interruption. What? What are you talking about, the federal law and panic attacks? Are you talking about what I was referring to earlier? Oh. Oh, nice. How's the sword training going? Why don't we wait till Thursday if you guys can hold off that long? Because Thursday is supposed to be spooky and conspiracy night, so I figured that'd be a good way to start it off. Federal law and panic attacks. Okay, cool. Because, you know, what do we have? We have like 35 minutes left. This may be a dumb question, but are you doing videos the rest of the week? Just for me personally, I need to... Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna do that many on E.T.N. because there's really not much to do in terms of entertainment. But definitely gonna be doing some on Rob Talks. Therapeutic, I bet. Believe me, I've had my share of therapeutics playing Call of Duty for the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it's all right. That's fine, Alan. Oh man. Oh. So who's here tonight? Let's see, we got Millennial, Omni, I saw Steve is here. Did you watch Love and Monsters? No, not yet. But when I do, I'm gonna do a review about it. It might be on Thursday. I thought it was next week. Or maybe it is Thursday. So oh shit. All right, so you know what? We'll do it Wednesday. We'll do spooky and conspiracy on Wednesday. If the debate's on Thursday, if you're right, which I'm sure you are, we're gonna do the live debate on Thursday on Rob Talks. Yeah, we'll watch it on stream. It's supposed to come. What Mike said, like he thinks 9:30. Yeah, we'll check it out. Halftime. Did who won the first game? It was a pretty competitive game when I left it off. I'm guessing the Chiefs won though. The Chiefs are wow. Cardinals are winning. I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, Chiefs did win 26-17. Mm. I'm currently watching season 2 of My Hero Academia. Very good show. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Yeah, they got smoked by the Dolphins. The Dolphins are really starting to play good. I'm impressed. Being a Dolphin fan. I'm I did a review on Love and Monsters. Long story short, I thought it was better than I expected it to be, but a little boring at some parts. However, everyone else is giving it more positive reviews. Oh, cool. You know, Kaiju, is your video up on YouTube? Yeah, I did, Hannah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm hoping I wasn't crazy about the last anime, so I'm hoping this one is better. If all goes well, I'll be here and home this week due to the lovely Coco 19 schools are all virtual here for the time being, and I don't have much to do since nobody is in school. Yeah, he actually got some gameplay the other day for the final drive. He completed two passes. I'm glad the characters are 2D and not ugly ass 3D, and it's a series, not a movie. What are you referring to? Oh, the Godzilla anime that's coming out on Netflix. Inducing Panic. Okay, yep, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, got it. Thanks. Oh God. Yeah, Monster Hunter. That's a thing, huh? It looks nice. I don't know why they just couldn't do a fantasy world. I mean, obviously the trailer improved on what we thought was going to be like a military movie. Looks like the military goes through some sort of portal and they have to kind of use the Monster Hunter weapons. But I don't know why not just do a fantasy realm where monsters exist and they get hunted. Like I don't understand Hollywood. I showed my friends during movie night Godzilla King of the Monsters for the first time, and my friend she really liked other friend Mothra, and my other friend liked King Ghidorah. Yeah, Monster Hunter is a downer. I was expecting a good movie off of it. Was expecting it to be a fantasy. However, completely went in the entire ad direction. In the entire direction, yeah. Oh, that's why Mila Jovovich is in it. Yeah, I know, Mike. That's insane. At Rob, yes. Yes, in regards to what? In regards to your video being up on your channel? I would like a Godzilla movie that focuses on the Zillion aliens and how King Ghidorah destroyed their home world. Oh, that would be cool. I haven't played Monster Hunter World in so long. I don't even have the expansion. I've been playing all Call of Duty and all um, Genshin Impact. Thoughts on a vice president debate? Oh, you probably weren't here earlier, but essentially, yeah, Mike Pence eviscerated Kamala Harris. It was pretty embarrassing, actually. The director always claims he is a fan of a certain game as an excuse to making a movie, but we all know it's going to turn out as crap. I think I'm the only one who rather wants a sequel to Kong Skull Island after Godzilla vs. Kong than a new Godzilla movie. No, I think there's others. I think people want both, is what it is. So is Lenny going to grow his hair back? Lenny's only going to grow his hair back, Acno, when you don't show up to streams anymore. So actually, to be honest, he cut his hair in protest because you're always around. He says once you're gone for good, he'll grow his hair back. So.
Idiot. Acno, so stupid. Your videos suck. Idiot. Acno, so stupid. Your videos suck.
Sorry.
Idiot. Acno,
my headphones
so
were on.
stupid.
Now I know why I didn't
Your
hear the
videos
alert.
suck.
My headphones were off. That's why I played that 3 times. I kept hitting the button like, why can't I hear anything? Yeah, he did. I think Cosner should go to jail. I just want the MonsterVerse to end with Godzilla vs. Kong. I think 4 movies is more than enough for the series. Yeah, I'm okay with it either way. If it continues or if it doesn't, I'm okay with it. I can live with it. Wait, when you don't grow your hair in the South? Yeah, Cosner, he concerns me. What did Cosner do again? Text while driving?
Idiot. Acno, so stupid. Your videos suck.
Scott, do you even read chat? Rob, yes, my video's up. All right, so why are you asking me about your video? Oh, what is it, Kaiji? You want me to show it here? You want me to watch it? I want a new Gamera movie. Shit, get in line, bro. Michael Dougherty basically made the MCU with his movie, but I understand why he did it. Universal's monsters were the first cinematic universe. Yeah. I think Rob doesn't have time to watch videos right now. Well, I have time to watch his video, but I guess the question is, why would I? Like, every time Kaiju asks me to watch a video, you want to know something? Honestly, I actually get offended. I really do. Like, sincerely, I get offended. You know why? Because I kind of feel like he's only here to try to promote his shit rather than be here to watch me or be here to be part of the community. And I just think that's insulting. Please know if I watch Kaju's video, it's going to make me want to choke out Cosner's girlfriend. Well, then you'll go to jail with Cosner. Yeah. Like, him and Acno are the only two that have ever constantly tried to get me to watch their videos. You know what I mean? And Acno's videos are just completely horrendous. Kaju's videos are good, but I've already seen like 2 of them. Like, what more do you want me to see? It's always the same shit. It's talented stuff, don't get me wrong. But it's all just pipe stuff. Is Lenny streaming at all this week? Maybe Friday? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Maybe tomorrow. Speaking of Gamera, Rob, you remember I was working on a fan-made Gamera movie rough draft? I have a few more questions about it. Can you email them to me? I just don't want to do this kind of stuff. Well, you guys gotta understand, like, when I stream, it's for everyone, not just for a select amount of people. So I'll be happy to look at your questions and answer them. Just email them to me or send them to me on Facebook. I just want to make this very clear. It's not because I don't like you guys or I don't respect some of you guys' work. Hell, I consider some of Kaiju's videos better than mine. But that doesn't mean I want to watch them while I'm on my stream. When there's like people here to hang out and do stuff collectively. Again, what did Cosner do again?
Idiot. Heck no. So stupid. Your videos suck.
Well, my email is in the About section of my YouTube channel. So just email me. It's a discussion video about the Monica Bellucci destroyed the Monsterverse. It's not a pipe cleaner video? Well, I think I've had enough of you talking about that on here, so I don't see the point of watching the video. You're just going to say the same shit you said here. So I want to give you a preemptive response to your request to watch your videos on my stream.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's another thing. You're especially if you want me to watch one of your videos, you especially need to donate. Fuck that. If I gotta sit down and watch somebody's creative video, I'm getting paid for that shit. Time is money, friend. My new video is... No, I know. You said it's about the Monsterverse. I get it. Oh, God. Let's get both these motherfuckers to shut up. Let's see if it plays at the same time.
Kaiju, 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 Mike.
Uh-oh, bringing the banhammer down. What did I do? Mike, you're here. That's all you need to do anymore. Wait, let's do this. Let's see if I can... I need 3 fingers for this.
Idiot.
Mike,
Heck no. So stupid. Your videos suck.
Mike.
Did the Mandalorian trailer drop yet? I'm sharing my video, not trying to promote it. How do you promote content? By sharing it. Hi, I just want to share this video, but I'm not promoting it. But can you just share this with like as many people as possible? Oh my God. Mike Sasso's here. Yo, where's Mr. L?
Mike's asshole tipped $3.33. Yes, Mike is here and so am I. Please free me.
That poor asshole. I never thought I'd have so much sympathy for an asshole. Oh, hi. I'd like you to share this video, but I don't want to promote it. You're right. That would have been better. Oh, man. If I choke someone else, does that mean I'm going to dark side? Maybe. It's not the east or the west side. No, it's not. It's the dark side. You are correct. Titanic Abaddon. Poor Mike's asshole. Apparently has more money than Mike does.
Mike's asshole tipped $3.33. He has been taking massive shits the size of the meteor that was supposed to hit Earth.
You know, that poor rectum must be red and sore. I know, Omni, it's been a while. That's why my timing was off. It would have been better if I had done that originally. I'll get back into it. Got to get the rust out. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't bring up. I did read an article where they said there's an asteroid heading to Earth around Election Day. No shit. Oh, man, let me see if I can find it. Obviously, it's, you know, I don't know how real it is, but I just saw the headline and I started laughing. I didn't read the article. Oh, CNN. Oh, reliable sources. Oh, great. NASA says an asteroid is... Check it out. Here it is. Oh, great. Can I close this shit up here? God, their website is garbage, too. Oh, great. NASA says an asteroid is headed our way right before Election Day. Amid a pandemic, civil unrest, and divisive U.S. election season, we now have an asteroid zooming towards us on the day before the presidential vote, no less. Yep, the celestial object known as 2018 VP1 is projected to come close to Earth on November 2nd, according to the Center for Near-Earth Object Studies as NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory. It was first identified at Palomar Observatory in California in 2018. Very small, approximately 6.5 feet, and poses no threat. 6.5 feet. That wouldn't even leave a crater. It's fucking CNN. Such garbage. Such garbage. 6.5 feet? That thing will dissolve by the time it hits the atmosphere. Fake rock. 6.5 feet, and they wrote an article about this shit. Oh my God. Six and a half feet. Do they even, I mean, honestly, the worst that'll happen is that'll hit somebody coming out of their house in the morning. Hit them right in the head. Is the universe throwing its pet rock at us? I guess. Yeah, the Undertaker is taller than that. That's as wide as I am tall. Jeez, there you go. I thought it was going to be worse. Yeah, well, it is worse. I had to pull up CNN to read about it. Let out such a mass or take in such a mass. Yeah. Hopefully it'll hit Mike. Burn. Well, headline news. No, that's not from headline news, unfortunately. Mando trailer in a minute. Okay, we still got time. We'll check it out. Rob, I'm here to solve any problems. Okay, well, how do we get rid of Mike from chat? And Acno. And possibly Kaiju. Did you hear about Jeffrey Torbin? Why does that name sound familiar? Enlighten me. I haven't done anything. Mike, you're here. That's all you need to do. It's simple. Kill Kaiju, Acto, and Mike. Well, I don't want to kill them. They're still human beings. They haven't done anything that deserves killing. Send a meteor their way. I'm not on Acno or Kaiju level. No, that's true. You're on a whole different level on your own. That's not necessarily a good thing. Oh, I missed that.
Mike's asshole tipped $3.33. Mike shot out a 6-foot rock from me in 2018. I wonder if that is still the same rock.
What do you go outside and just bend over like, yo? Let me guess. If he sent a rock out of your ass into orbit, he must have made this noise when he was trying to push that shit out. Oh boy. And then after he got it out, the follow-up fart. Big ass blowhorn coming out his ass. The CNN legal analyst, he got caught with his pecker out on a Zoom call. Oh my God, are you serious? I didn't hear about that. Let me see. Is it on CNN's website? Probably not. Oh my God. Check this out. The commission approves muting mics during next debate. Can you believe this shit? What kind of shit is that? You think we should all die? Oh, Titanus, that's not a very nice thing to say. Zoom dick was trending. I don't plug my videos or have ever been banned like Kaiju or Acno. Well, you don't plug your videos because you have no videos to plug, which is pretty strange considering you're in film school. That explains why I haven't seen him on air recently. What they don't want is they want to avoid Trump from interrupting Biden. Michael Gonzalez, I've seen you say the dumbest shit. That's very true. All right, let's see if that trailer popped up yet. Not yet? Nope, not yet. All right, I'll just refresh. Yeah, Mike. Trump should have his own. You're right. He should have his own mic. That way, when they mute him, he'd be like. Then he just busts out in a rap. He comes out to the middle stage. I'm the president of the United States. Just starts pumping his hands like this. Only reason Trump talked over Biden was the debate moderator let Biden talk for a few minutes while Trump only got like 30 seconds. Yeah. If I were Trump, I wouldn't even talk in the debate at all. I would, if they ask a question, I'll just be like, yeah, this, I'll answer at the end. Just let Biden have the stage. A megaphone. A magaphone. Trump's real name is Karen? I don't know. I've seen Karens and Trump doesn't resemble Karen, that's for sure. No trailer yet. Kamala means horrible in Finnish. Well, it's a good thing we're not in Finland. What's the town hall? That was kind of funny to watch. Boy, but that lady was annoying. Savannah, oh my Lord. Not because she was going after Trump. It's fine if she goes after Trump. I thought some of the questions were contentious, but just her voice. Oh my God, like hearing her hurt my ears. It is now. Let's see. How come I'm not seeing it? Yes, Harris is very, very annoying. All right, let's try again. Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm looking.
Mike's asshole tipped $3.33. Trump deserves more than his own mic, but a mic drop from Trump would be the highlight of the night since I wouldn't be the one doing the dropping.
Oh man, Mike's asshole is fucking humorous. It's over already? It's not even on YouTube yet. Oh, I guess we can't watch it tonight. If Mike got into a fight with Trump, nah, I don't want to see Mike get hurt. It didn't show anything good. It just dropped on YouTube? Okay, hold on. Why the fuck is it not popping up? What channel? Is it on the Star Wars channel? Yeah, I'll filter it. All right, hold on here. What in the shit? Is it on a? Is it on a channel? Oh, you know what? Let me check trending. Damn, it's not even on trending. Oh my God. Someone send me a link. Thank you, James. All right, there we go. We got it. YouTube. Slow. Oh, it's only 1 minute? Oh, that's okay. Well, all right, here we go. Mandalorian trailer. Let's watch it. Let's see if it's good. All right. Let's get the volumes up. Okay, here we go.
Razor Crest, stand down.
Oh, wow, that is loud. Oh, fuzzy. I hate Twitter for that. It never buffers on time.
I'm here on business. I need your help. I've been quested to bring this one back to its kind. If I can locate other Mandalorians, they can guide me.
This is no place for a child.
Wherever I go, he goes. Here we go.
The Mandalorian. New season streaming October 30th. Only on Disney Plus.
I was expecting more. It was all right. I'm still excited for it, but the trailer wise, eh. I love that music. Hype for the jetpack. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jonathan. I was already sold on watching the season anyway, but that trailer wasn't that great. It was underwhelming. Like, I wouldn't show that to a new fan.
Mike's asshole tipped $3.33. Funny that you should mention that I'm humorous because I can't seem to find the funny bone anywhere in Mike. Mike can't be humorous even if his life is on the line. I would have to do it for him.
Oh, man. Oh, you know what that music means. Did you see the trailer for Camp Cretaceous Season 2 trailer, Rob? Nah. I'm not interested in that show. Yep, it means you have to walk the dog. I know, it went by pretty quick. But we're back now. The feet are better. So as you can see, I feel better. Tomorrow. You know what? I'm going to make a decision when I'm live tomorrow. Either we'll do this conspiracy scary stuff tomorrow, or we'll do Lenny playing Call of Duty. Alright guys, thank you all very much for everything. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll be streaming the rest of the week till Saturday. There'll be videos on Rob Talks, and we're just going to rock and roll from there. You guys have a good night. Thank you again for everything, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
that we made.